Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up with a Saturday morning song, popped on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and try your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning, we watched Ben 10!
At one point, we were trying to name more characters.
We were successful.
Yeah, it was hard to do, though. But the one that was really hard was 9. But thankfully, we got one, I think with help from Megan when we were on Twitch.
We got Caroline 9, which was perfect. Do you know there's already a Kevin 11?
It's Kevin Levin, I think. Not like
that's his last
11. I think it's just Kevin Levin.
But then I saw his name as like Kevin, then the number 11. So I think maybe his real name is Kevin Levin, but
just
like Ben's last name is Ben Tennyson. Exactly.
Man,
so they really play into that.
They love
maybe
numbers.
A little too much.
Guess. Yeah, maybe they might have gone a little too far. This was suggested to us by Christopher1295 via Reddit and Twisted Yogurt via YouTube. So thank you both, you two.
Chris, we speak to him constantly.
Yes.
And Twisted Yogurt, I know I've heard that name before.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy yogurt.
Yeah, and when it's twisted. You know, like frozen yogurt, when it comes out of the little dispenser, it twists.
Yeah, it does twist.
Yeah,
You're
twisted
right.
yogurt's
I wonder if
delicious.
that's where he got it.
Could be. The frozen yogurt's the best kind.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Now I want some yogurt. All right, we're ending the episode right now. Immediately, I'm getting the yogurt.
Do you put gummy bears in your frozen yogurt, or do they get too hard for... Well, you like frozen gummy bears. Never mind.
No, dude, that's the perfect gummy bear.
Yeah,
I freeze my gummy bears, so of course I do.
Yeah, I knew it. Okay. All right. Problem solved.
Foolish question.
Yeah,
foolish question started the show
How
off.
foolish of me.
The show Ben 10 aired from 2005 to 2008. And this is also known as Ben 10 Classic because little known to me coming into this, there are many iterations of the show and a new one that came out very recently. So we'll talk about that as we go through the episode. But this was created by Man of Action Entertainment, which is an American writer collective specializing in various brands of media ranging from television, films, comic books, and animation. They're best known for their animated action shows, superhero drama, live action movies, and serial comics such as Ben 10, Generator Rex, Gourmety Nature Unleashed, and Big Hero 6. The only one I know out of those are Ben 10 and Big Hero 6.
Yeah, I've heard of Generator Rex before. What was the name of the company again?
It's Man of Action Entertainment. Of Action.
I feel like when you say it, you have to say it like you're a man of action. Like, man
of Action.
Of action. Yes.
Entertainment.
Yeah, you got to really
the
give
entertainment doesn't have to be there, though. It's just Man of Action Entertainment.
Yeah, there you go.
Deke.
They can use you for a soundbite now.
Yeah. It's produced by Cartoon Network Studios, ran for 4 seasons, 52 episodes on Cartoon Network originally. For a short synopsis, written by TB4000. I know we've heard from this Android before.
It's another one of those Android AI things writing our stuff.
Yeah, but this one's less hidden. This one's like T1000.
Yeah, not trying to hide the fact.
Not even trying to hide that he's a robot algorithm. The story of Ben Tennyson, a typical kid who becomes very atypical after he discovers the Omnitrix, a mysterious alien device with the power to transform the wearer into 10 different alien species. That happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel though like it's a little bit how do I say? It's like misleading. Cause if you look at like the credits for things for the rest of the show, it ends up being way more than 10. It ends up being like 24 or something crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, new ones keep coming in, and the path of episodes that we watched took us on a little trip to show how one of them at least got changed out.
Yeah, that was kind of weird how that works out. That happens with us a lot though, but somehow it worked out.
I think since those episodes were both chosen by Chris1295, that he specifically had that in mind, trying to join those episodes.
Could be.
It made sense. I mean, if not, then great coincidence.
Good job.
So who are some of the actors who played in this show?
All right. So most of these actors we've spoken about before, and there's quite a few. So we're not going to go super deep diving into them, but we'll definitely mention all the big ones here. So both Ben and the version that he turns into called Upgrade were voiced by Tara Strong. It's someone that we're very familiar with on this show. She voices a lot of things. And you're going to see that with a lot of these other people, too. These are names that we are going to be very, very familiar with for the most part. The character of Gwen, voiced by Megan Moore. The character Grandpa Max, voiced by Paul Eading. The characters of Vilgax, which was main bad guy, the
Man bad guy.
Bad guy. The dude that was in the little tank, and he was like, there's barely anything left of him. Heat Blast and Ghost Freak, all voiced by Steve Bloom. Wild Mutt, voiced by D. Bradley Baker. Now, Wild Mutt was the big orange shaggy dog thing that he turns into. That one. Diamond Head, voiced by Jim Ward. Rip Jaws, voiced by Fred Tedashore. Gray Matter, voiced by Richard Stephen Horowitz. Ditto, voiced by Rob Paulson. And Four Arms, voiced by Richard McGonigal. So that's as far as I want to go with it. Those are a lot of very, very familiar names that we have talked about for the length of 200 something episodes that we've done this show. So
this is episode 237.
Yeah,
if you can believe that.
So in all of the other episodes we've done, one of them has shown up in most of them.
Pretty much.
There you go.
The only person we're missing here is Frank Welker, and he probably made some unmentioned cameos.
Yeah, where you at, Frank? I'm sure he voiced a dog barking in some episode somewhere.
So for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Ben 10 cereal, the series gradually became popular and was nominated for 2 Emmy Awards, winning one for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation. The show would go on to spawn a franchise. Ben 10 was succeeded by Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, and Ben 10 Omniverse. A reboot of the series premiered in 2016. There were some theatrical releases as well. Ben 10 Race Against Time and Ben 10 Alien Swarm.
Jeez.
Right?
That's a lot.
So many. So much Ben 10.
Wasn't there a live action also at some point?
Was there?
I think
don't know.
so.
Maybe it was a fan made thing. I
think there's
unless it was
straight up. I think there's a straight up live action Ben 10.
Unless it's one of those I mentioned, I'm not sure.
Let's see.
But I know the newer one uses the 2016 one uses kind of a simplified animation style, kind of the Cal Art style from what I had seen. But
right.
I don't know. I'll look into it because I am interested in kind of going deeper into this Ben 10 universe.
Yeah. So Ben 10 Alien Swarm was a live action.
Oh, and that was one of the movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Race Against Time also, I think.
That was live action also?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
So both of them are... Yeah, so both the films were live action films.
Dang.
Jeez. Okay.
Well, I didn't even know that. Okay. Well, the main title was created by Renegade Animation, who was well known for Hi Hi Puffy Yami Yumi, which was created by Ben 10's executive producer, Sam Register. So I mentioned that one because we had done Puffy Yami Yumi previously. So there is a relation.
I could tell the opening song. I was like, man, this feels real familiar.
Yeah, very much so. The opening credits were altered in the 3rd season and beyond to reflect that Ghost Freak was no longer to be used and was replaced by Cannonbolt as the 9th alien. And that's something we're going to dig into because it relates heavily to the episodes we watched.
Oh, yeah.
So had you ever heard of this show before? I'm sure you've heard of it, right?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I mean, you can't not have heard of Ben 10. Even if you are a 35-year-old man that doesn't do cartoon podcasts, you've heard of it. There's no way you haven't.
Yeah, even if you're Ben 35, you've probably heard of this show.
Ben 35.
These are his later years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard of it too, of course, but I had never seen a single episode. It just didn't seem like something that I was real captivated by, only because I think we were at an age at the time. We had just graduated high school 2 years prior, so it wasn't really on my radar.
Yeah,
I guess. So I had just seen it around and just thought it was a kid show, so I didn't bother with it.
Yeah, same. I mean, it was definitely not something that I was ready to consume. I was definitely out of that demographic at that point and had no intention of looking into it. And I understood the general gist of it from seeing commercials and toys and things like that for it.
Yeah, it is very straightforward, and you can't like know about Ben 10 without knowing you can turn into 10 aliens.
Yeah, exactly. Since we were speaking of changing into new forms, if you enjoy what Joseph and I do here on Cartoon Boom, then you'll also enjoy changing up your week by joining us over on Twitch. Each week, the two of us sit down and play video games live at twitch.tv/nerdsloth, and we always keep you as the community involved, whether it's interacting with you through the chat, the tons of channel point rewards you can earn just by watching, or community nights, like last night where we played Super Fight, and the community voted on the outcome of each match. If you're listening to this on Saturday morning, you may even catch us playing Sea of Thieves right now, where we've taken on the personas of Handsome Joe and Cannonball Chris as we parade around our pirate ship looking for treasure and typically getting blown up or eaten by sharks. But we play tons of different games each week, and we'll soon be scheduling an upcoming Among Us community night where you can play along with us. So again, go follow us over on twitch.tv/nerdsloth so you don't miss out on all the fun.
So let's go ahead and jump into the episodes we watched for today's show. The very first one was, and then there were 10, season 1, episode 1. And in this one, an alien device with metamorphic properties crash lands on Earth and attaches itself to an often grousing juvenile. What's grouse? I don't even know what grousing means.
Grousing? I thought
Who's
a
on a
grouse
road
was
trip.
a bird.
He was on a road trip with extended family. And often grousing. That's an interesting way to describe him.
Yeah. Someone tell us what grousing means.
I have to look it up. I have to know. See if that's accurate. Grousing.
Complain, pettily, or grumble. So grumbly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a petty complainer.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but like he's more just a little scrappy troublemaker than that.
Yeah, he wasn't that bad. I wouldn't describe him as often grousing.
Yeah, yeah.
Not only because I didn't know that word. But
yeah, and I don't like how it sounds.
No, that sounds gross.
Yeah, it does sound gross. Grousing. Ew.
Grousing. In this one, yeah, that's pretty descriptive of it. Like they go on this summer vacation. To Ben's dismay, his cousin Gwen comes with, who they have that like almost like a sibling rivalry type thing, but even as cousins. He's disappointed to see her there, but they're going to go and spend their summer together in an RV with their grandpa Max. And that's when we also are seeing this like alien war going on in space where that main villain, whose name I've already forgotten.
That's Vilgax? Vilgax? One of those.
Where Vilgax or whatever his name was is after the Omnitrix and destroys the ship that's actually holding it, but not without like taking some damage to their own ship, which is what puts him in that pod you were talking about earlier.
But yeah, so Ben and Gwen are constantly arguing. He goes off on a walk alone, and the Omnitrix crashes nearby. And then he's like, "Oh, cool, a watch from space." And then it jumps up, like it literally propels itself onto his arm. And I love this first transformation that he gets, heat blast into heat blast. And he's just like, I'm on fire. And he sets the whole forest on fire.
Well, because he's trying to like test out his powers. What's interesting about that is it's not like a lantern ring where it's like, oh, you have great willpower, so I'm going to attach to you. It's just like, I need a host, dude. Like, come here. Yeah. And it, like he couldn't even take it off. Like he was trying to, and it wouldn't let him because it merged with his DNA unwillingly. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like a hero, not even by choice. It's like you're kind of forced into this situation.
Yeah, it was one of those products of circumstance in that he was the only one around. If that Omnitrix didn't get out of there, then it was going to get picked up by, somebody that it doesn't want as its owner. Like it's just
or like Viltrix's troops who were also after it.
So it's just like, all right, well, I guess that's all we got. This stupid kid. So here we go.
This often grousing juvenile.
This grousing child. Yeah. I'm going to hop onto this grouse real quick. Yeah. So he sets the forest on fire, and that's what tips Grandpa Max and Gwen off that, hey, something might be up over there. I like that too, is that they spot the fire and Max is like, some like delinquent camper doesn't know what he's doing or something. And then they're like,
Oh yeah. It's like they both have that realization at the same time, like, Ben. And then
they're just like, it's him.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
What was
Yeah.
interesting, and there's probably fact to this, but I just don't know enough about fires and putting out fires, I guess, to where apparently lighting another fire stopped the fire from burning, or it like burnt out the other fire.
I was wondering about that too, because I don't know that is how fire works.
I'm not a fire scientist, so I don't know for sure.
No, me either.
Yeah, so I'm speaking from an uneducated perspective, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
It seemed like they should have been like, "Hey, could you figure out if you have like a water form too?" So that's what I thought was going to happen.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, like I gotta say, I've never seen like firefighters get to a house and they're like, "We got to put out this fire. Set the neighbor's house on fire."
Yeah, that'll burn it out.
Like I've never seen them do that.
Again, not fire scientist by any means.
Yeah. But I mean, there is, things called controlled burns that they do in like forests and grasslands and stuff. So maybe that's what those are? I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know. It worked, whatever the case was.
It did work. Yeah.
That's when Viltrix's forces come down, his robots, and try to acquire the Omnitrix. And so Ben is kind of testing out his powers here, or sort of forced to, because otherwise, his family is going to get taken out and they're going to get the Omnitrix.
Yeah. And he goofing around, he ends up turning into Wild Mutt, which is pretty cool. I think that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. I also liked when he was Wild Mutt, how like he doesn't have eyes, so he can't see, but he has sort of a Daredevil, like infrared sort of hearing, I guess. Yeah,
he can like sense everything around him. So it compensates for the lack of sight. I thought that was cool. I liked seeing that. My favorite though was when he turns into the crystal guy.
Oh, Diamond Head or something? Is that what
Diamond Head, yeah. That was my favorite one of this episode, my favorite transformation. Just because like that design was really cool. And I love the sound effect when he talks. You hear like, I know they're using like a sound of like glass being cracked or like shifted around and stuff on top of like his voice, and it really brought that character together and made me feel like this is a character really made of like crystal or something.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. It was such a good effect.
You know what was also interesting, and I don't know how you felt about it, but the transformations, I was thinking it was just going to be like a flash and then he's the new form, but no, it's more akin to Turbo Teen, where you're seeing these grotesque, no, because you get it, like you see these grotesque transformation where it's like he's getting super veiny and stuff and like going over his eyes, and it's like, wow, it went really in depth with some of those transformations. Yeah,
that was interesting. I didn't expect them to kind of dive into that like anime style body horror type transformation, but that is where they go. I mean, it's on a light note compared to like what you and I have seen in other shows and stuff. But I mean, that is what it is. It's a little bit of body horror in that type of transformation. And I thought that was really interesting because, there's different times in this show where it pushes itself a little further than I definitely expected it to. So that was definitely one of the spots.
When he turns into forearms, like you see those arms like sprout from his side. I guess to their credit, at least he doesn't sound like he's in pain, because that would really sell it as like, oh, this is grotesque.
What if when he's changing, he's just like, oh God,
it hurts so much. Yeah, no, they didn't do that, fortunately, but oh, my squeedly spooch.
Oh God.
Oh, Vilgax was the name of the villain. Vilgax. I kept saying Viltrix, so just FYI.
Vilgax.
That pretty much wraps up that episode. I mean, as Diamond Head is when he kind of finishes off and takes out the rest of the Vilgax's forces. And also, you're seeing him being a 10-year-old boy in these bodies. Like, he doesn't turn into these people or these aliens. He like just takes the form of them. So he is like still jumping around and bragging and stuff and excited.
His mind is
like he just won because he's a 10-year-old boy. So that's an interesting dynamic to have as a hero.
Well, I think two things that are also really interesting to know about the episode too is about his grandpa and his cousin here, and just the role that they play, in that you almost kind of think maybe his grandpa's going to try to find a way to be like, hey, we need to still find a way to get it off you, but instead it more becomes, you're going to have to learn how to use this thing. Like, we're going to have to start training. And I think that's pretty cool. He's just like, oh yeah, okay. What I like too is with Gwen is what's interesting about her character is like when she first like, you know, runs into him in his like fire form thing and doesn't realize it's him. She screams, but she's like immediately tries to fight him. Like she tries to bat him over the head with the fire extinguisher. That says a lot about her character. She's super brave. And it's like even coming up against like, you know, an alien or something that easily could just melt her with, you know, no regard. She's still like, nah, I mean, for a 10-year-old girl, that's awesome.
Yeah, what's cool about her character, too, is, like, she looks like she would be, like, the cutesy little annoying cousin, but instead, like, she's the brainy one, and she knows Taekwondo, so she can fend for herself in multiple ways, which is great, because she's not just a defenseless side character. And Grandpa, I don't know if you read into him at all, but there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. We don't find out about it in these episodes.
So I just want to, I would like you to tell me if I'm on the right track. So I didn't read any further into it, but based on just how my familiarity with story and things like that, and just his reactions to things in this first episode especially, my guess is that he's already familiar with aliens or this kind of technology to a point, and that's why he's had the reactions that he's had, that he's already semi-involved in this stuff, even if it's in like a very third-party kind of way, but he's obviously had some sort of past with this before. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess. And I didn't read too much into it because I wanted it to be more of a surprise for myself. But what I do know is that in some way he was involved with the team that were like, I don't know if they were protecting the Earth from aliens or if he was just involved with aliens. But in some way he was a part of some force that either defended the planet or defended in space in some way.
Got it.
It's going along the lines of what you're saying, because the way he was acting and the way that he like brought up aliens immediately and then like retracted his statement made it seem like, oh, you're hiding something.
And I mean, that gives a lot of credence too to why he immediately was just like, well, you're going to have to start training and learn how to use this, rather than we need to find a way to get this off you.
Exactly.
So, and it makes a lot of sense, and that makes it very intriguing because I definitely want to know more about it now.
Yeah, same. And that jumps us into the next episode we watched for today's show, which was Last Laugh, season 1, episode 9. This was chosen by Christopher 1295. Ben's secret fear of clowns. The way these are written are so weird, and I'm going to read it like it says. Ben's secret fear of clowns, absence...
Should you read it like a robot, though? Since a robot wrote this?
That's true. Okay. Ben's secret fear of clowns absents him from the big top, just as an evil, soul-sucking clown goes into his act. But Gwen, Grandpa Max, and the rest of the town aren't as fortunate.
Okay.
GB 4000. It was the fear of clowns absence him from the big top. That's what's like, that's a really weird way to put that.
No, that's they nailed it.
And they know the language.
Nailed it.
Okay.
I love that this starts out with us getting to see another form of his, that creepy fish form. That's cool.
You know, I like that a lot. The fish form was really cool. And I like that they used some like science in there where they surrounded him with the fire. And then his oxygen was gone because that's what fire is doing. It's taking that oxygen. Breathe. So it was played really smartly.
Yeah. Zombozo. That's,
you know what?
That's the villain.
That sounds ridiculous, but this was a pretty dark episode.
It was super dark. And that name was creepy, dude. Zombozo.
I would watch a Zombozo movie for sure.
Jeez, you would. It does sound like something that we would watch on a Friday, though.
The evil circus dudes who were on Zombozo's team were Thumbskull, Fright Wig, and Acid Breath. And I don't know about you, but Acid Breath freaked me out. Like the whole idea of acid, it just terrifies me. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was drawn so gross too. Like his face was disgusting.
Like some of his teeth are rotted out, most likely from the acid that he's breathing. Ugh.
Yeah, and he's got the one eye that's like bulging out.
Yeah.
Oh God,
nasty.
He's so gross. And what's interesting is they refer to them as freaks a lot. like circus freaks. But like, here's the thing about this. Everyone in this show, it doesn't matter what side you're on, they always refer to everybody else as freaks. So like if you're like a nerd, you're going to get referred to as a freak. If you're Ben, you're going to get referred to as a freak. If you're Gwen, Ben is going to call you a freak.
Yep.
If you are one of these weird circus people, Ben and Gwen are going to call you a freak. If you're one of the circus people, they're going to call Ben a freak. I'm like, do you have any other words?
That's just their favorite insult. Freak.
Like, good Lord.
Yeah, so they run into this visiting circus, and that's where things just kind of go haywire. Like, Ben's already got his fear of clowns, so he's trying to like step away and pretend he's going to go get popcorn. But then he sees, and that's when Thumbskull, Frightwig, and Acid Breath are performing. And then he sees like he wanders to the side and sees Zombozo's tent where he's kind of like evil monologuing to himself.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
first mistake.
Yeah, well, something's wrong, of course. But I'm also very scared of clowns, so I can't face this guy yet. So this episode reminded me a lot of an episode of Extreme Ghostbusters.
Ooh,
where
yeah.
It's the one where Eduardo gets turned into a clown.
Oh, yeah. We watched that episode, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. I really liked that episode.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, this was really crossing over into that kind of territory because it seemed really like 90s kind of dark, I guess, or early 2000s dark, which I guess it was. But for this show, like this more fun, like less serious show, like this episode seemed like a big left turn from the last episode we had watched. And seeing this like clown, what he's doing is like sucking the emotional energy out of people by forcing them to laugh, and then like literally taking their happiness into this machine called the Cyclown. The naming convention in these are just ridiculous, but the idea of it is horrifying. Because after he like takes like Grandpa's happiness, like he's just like straight up depressed. Like he can't even focus on anything. He's so sad because every bit of happiness is gone.
Yeah, he's so depressed that he just kind of stops driving their RV in the middle of driving.
Yeah, like he
and just lets them crash.
To drive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, that's so dark.
Right.
Like, oh my God. That's crazy. And they kidnap Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen's kidnapped in the process to be used as like along with others, to be used as like a more permanent source of energy.
She shrivels up like a raisin.
Like slowly feeding off of her energy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, this is just a horrible idea. I don't know where these guys even came from because I don't think they're aliens. And it doesn't explain that they're like mutants or anything. It's just like, these are just evil supernatural beings of some sort. They're freaks.
They're freaks. Yeah, I don't know either. We don't get an explanation for it, and I think that's really strange.
He's just like an emotional vampire clown, and you just have to accept that he exists in the world, and that's horrifying.
Yeah, I don't like that idea at all. I don't like that.
This is where we first got an appearance of Ghostfreaked, which is one of Ben's 10 forms.
And of course, it's got freak in the name.
Yeah. That's just their favorite word. And what I liked about Ghost Freakly is he's just like he's just a freaky looking character, and his power is fear. Yeah, he's just a big ghost dude. And I liked that when he tried to scare Zombozo, not even tried, like when he scared Zombozo, like he pulled a Beetlejuice on him, where he just kind of like pulls open his vest, but you're just seeing it from behind, and then you just see all these like black and white, like Tim Burton striped tentacles like come out. And yeah, then it's like, oh, this is totally a Beetlejuice move. Like you don't know what he's seeing, but it's obviously so horrifying that it scares him into exploding into confetti.
Which is exactly what every clown should do when they're done with whatever they're doing.
It's explode into confetti.
Could you imagine that? Like, let's say you were at a kid's party, right? And there's a clown there, and he has made all of the balloon animals, and he's sang a song, and it's like, okay, kids, time to go away. And then he just explodes, and just confetti lands all over the place.
Yeah.
He's just gone forever, and no one ever sees him again.
Bozo vanish! And then he's gone.
Ben breaks the machine, and that lets everybody's happiness souls back Like it literally looks like, I don't know, like some souls or something. Like it's like these blue silhouette kind of ghosty looking things flying out of it that go back to, well, they look very unhappy, which is weird because it's supposed to be
Since they
like
are
their
happiness
happiness,
souls. Yeah.
but they look very sad. But they fly back out, inhabit everyone again. It's all good now. Everyone's good.
And yeah, they save the day. And then for whatever reason, Gwen just seems completely detached from the what just happened and tries to scare
Right?
Ben with a clown mask. It's like, Gwen, he just saved you from this horrible experience, and you know he's scared of clowns. Why are you trying to pick on him right now? Of all
Because she's
times.
a cousin, and cousins are meant to be jerks.
But he's now gotten over his fear of clowns because,
Yeah, that
as
sucks.
Grandpa said, he was smart to scare away his
His
fears.
fear. That's right.
Uh-huh.
Now, like whenever you and I are scared of anything, we need to scare what we're afraid of right back.
We just have to freak it out until it explodes into confetti, whatever it is.
Yeah. So, like, what's your greatest fear? Mine's being eaten alive. So if I ever start getting eaten by an animal, I just got to find a way to scare it while it's eating me.
I don't know what
How do
my
I do
greatest
that?
fear is.
I don't know. Maybe I like fart like as it's trying to do it. Maybe he'll be like, oh,
Just open up your vest and let those tentacles out. Those
yeah,
striped
I'll
tentacles.
I'll show him my tentacles. He'll get out of there. Yeah.
So the last episode we watched for today's show was Ghostfreaked Out, Season 2, Episode 11. This is also chosen by Chris1295, and it connects obviously directly with what we just watched because of Ghost Freak. One of Ben's aliens decides to leave the Omnitrix and take over the world, but needs to merge with Ben to become whole. I didn't know he was bent on world domination, but I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought he wanted to get out.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Yeah. He's just like, yo, can I not do this anymore?
I'm finally free.
Yeah. He's like,
and then
I've been a slave for a while. Can I not be?
he gets to take on his like final form, I guess, but it also looks like under his final form, there's a different form, kind of.
Yeah. It's kind of, yeah. And it's a grosser form, which is cool.
Yeah, like under his sheet, it's like an upside down skull face.
With one eye.
Then,
still.
yeah, with one eye. It's just I don't know, he's just a freaky looking thing.
Yeah.
But he's also got the ability to like take over people's bodies.
Mhm,
And he does that throughout the episode to varying degrees of success. And we also get to see Frightwig, Acid Breath, and Thumbskull again.
So weird that they ended up in that same episode.
As far as we understand it, just from the episodes we watched, these are Ben 10's only villains.
Right, that's it. It's so strange that we ended up with these characters back to back.
Yeah, since this is like a whole season apart.
Speaking of, so this is what, season 3?
2.
Season 2. How long is the summer vacation been? Good Lord.
This has got to be like they're having experiences every single day of the summer vacation.
I know.
Like they don't get to rest.
It's crazy. They need to just take, like, I don't know, take a day. Take one day.
The whole idea of this episode was for Gwen to be touring an academy school or something that she wanted to attend. She's trying to impress this like prep school with, I guess not a prep school, it's some kind of like advanced school of some sort. And
It's basically a prep school.
yeah, and the person who's showing her around is just a real jerk and one of those like hoity-toity, like holding their nose up at everybody else.
Can you guess who the voice was of that character?
Was it Kath Soucie?
Yes, it was.
Ah, I knew it.
Yes, nice job.
You can start to hear these things like when you watch enough cartoons. So during all that, that's when Ghost Freak finally escapes because at first, well, I like the way that it was kind of revealed that he was going to escape though, because when Ben first like encounters Frightwig, Acid Breath, and Thumbskull again, the circus freaks, like Ghost Freak comes out, even though I don't think he was trying to summon him in the first place. And then Ben just like gets like super violent and is like destroying them, like kicking their butts, and to the point where like Grandpa's like, Ben is never this vicious or whatever he says.
He's acting like a freak. So I couldn't help myself.
That's when they realize that Ghost Freak has taken over. Ben's not in control in this case.
Because, yeah, like Gwen tries to tell him to stop, to like calm down. But then, you know, in his Ghost Freak voice, he's just like, Ben's not here right now. Kind of thing. And what's interesting here, though, is so we haven't touched on this yet, but for those of you that haven't seen this show, if you haven't, Hopefully you've watched this before we talk about it, unless you're just not that interested. But anyway, when he changes into these forms, it's limited. It's almost like there's some sort of timer. I'm not aware how long it is, and I think it just really kind of depends on the episode and what they're wanting to do with it. But his watch will turn to red, and then he changes back into his human form, and it's like the thing that he wears, the Omnitrix, has to recharge itself for so long before he can change forms again. But when it happens this time, instead of him just turning right back into Ben, I mean, he does that, but Ghost Freak got out of the Omnitrix. Like he's still there too. They're like separated, which was weird, and I don't know exactly how that worked, but he found a way.
Yeah, he basically escaped the containment vault in Ghostbusters.
Yes.
And he is free and trying to really just trying to take over Ben as his host so that he can use the Omnitrix himself for world domination, I guess. I don't know, just to be powerful.
Yeah. Well, and partly out of spite too, because he does bring up the idea of like that, unlike the other forms in Ben's Omnitrix, he's been sentient this entire time.
Oh, that's right. Because the DNA that was pulled to create that form, like I guess his species attaches itself to the DNA or portions of the DNA. So he has existed this entire time. He's essentially been a mind inside of, trapped in this Omnitrix for however long, which is crazy.
Yeah, so he's very spiteful, and he wants Ben to know how it feels to feel trapped like that in somebody else's body, with someone else like controlling it. So it's part one, he needs a body to possess to really do much. He wants the Omnitrix to make him powerful, and he wants Ben to feel what he felt for so long out of revenge. There's a lot.
Yeah, and he's turning into like various forms. First trying to take Ben out with strength, and none of that's working since he's got his other forms. Like I think forearms is one he takes on for a while, and then when he finds out that like strength isn't going to beat him, he goes for the heart, I guess. And so he takes over Gwen's body, and that's when it's like, oh man, like stuff is getting real, because then Gwen, like with Ghost Freak taking over her, like she spider climbs up this wall, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
They've also got this sun gun, which like I guess Ghost Freak can't handle sunlight. And so they have this like specific gun that shoots direct sunlight. And so that's what they're trying to beat him with. But it doesn't have any effect when he's inside another body. So he's staying inside Gwen's body for the time being, but then threatens to have her jump off of this like building to basically kill her.
Yeah,
that's Ben doesn't let him take over his body.
Again, that's so dark that they went that route. I was very surprised. But they resolved that situation in kind of a funny way, in that when Ben stands down and is just like, okay, you can possess me, I give up, just let Gwen go. Of course, he was going to double cross him, because he tells, that circus crew or whatever to take Gwen and Grandpa Max out. But he goes to possess Ben, and for a moment, it looks like he did it because he like envelops Ben's body. But what Ben had done is he used his Omnitrix real quick to turn into this tiny little frog guy and popped out of Ghost Freak's mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great. I love that. I think the little frog guy's name's Gray Matter. That character was really funny. I like that form a lot.
So basically, Ghost Freak just throws up this gray frog.
He just runs.
I liked the finale of this episode too, where he's inside this building with them, and you're like, oh man, what can he do? Because it's like darkness in here, and he's kind of got this final showdown going on. And eventually he sort of pulls these shades off of the window, or this clock window that's on there.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him essentially disintegrate. Like he dries up and falls apart. And so now I guess he's been 9 for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know when the other character comes in.
I was surprised because like I guess I didn't expect them to end up killing Ghost Freak.
Yeah.
I thought if anything they'd find a way to retrap him in the Omnitrix and find a way to like, I don't know, resolve it and help him somehow. Instead, they straight up
No,
killed him.
There's no going back for this
Nah,
guy.
that dude crumbled into nothing. So
Yeah,
he's dead.
he's gone extinct
They made him go extinct. They committed
because
genocide.
he's a freak.
He's a freak.
What would you like to go over first? I don't know how your dislikes and likes weighed out. Do you want to go over dislikes or likes first?
Go over likes first. I have one dislike.
So for likes, what are yours?
So I wrote down 3 things that I wanted to talk about that I really liked about this show. One that I want to go over quick is the art style. I felt it felt really Bruce Timm to me, and I don't know if like you might have already thought that too, but aside from some of the alien designs, but as far as like the human characters go, it felt straight out of that Bruce Timm style. So like right away going into this show felt really welcoming for me. It felt like a really good transition from shows that I already liked as a kid going into this thing. And that was something I didn't quite really expect. I mean, I'd seen images of these characters before, but you know, seeing them on posters or advertisements, it's not always the same as seeing the actual cartoon itself. So actually watching it, I was like, wow, yeah, this feels really familiar already. And I liked that about it. I also like that Ben isn't a typical hero. Like he isn't the Boy Scout, but he's also not the super angsty anti-hero, which makes me feel like he's a much more well-rounded character. I mean, he is still kind of like scrappy and he gets into trouble and stuff, but he's not the anti-hero archetype or anything like that. So I like that about him, and that made him stand out a little bit to me. And then the last thing was that the show wasn't afraid to get a little dark, which I really appreciate because, again, it adds a bit of realism and a little more urgency to the story that I wouldn't have expected out of a kids show. And they did it in a way that I feel as a kid, it wouldn't have seemed all that dark to me. I mean, it would, but I don't think I would have picked up on all the nuances of what the situations were about. It's mostly, I think, as an adult, just understanding the deeper meaning behind certain actions or phrases, like Gwen being up on that ledge and, you know, what could happen as a result, or the idea of Grandpa Max being so drained of happiness he can't even drive that RV and just lets it crash. Just those concepts and stuff are something that I feel like shows that target kids of this age typically steer away from. I mean, there are some shows that will go down roads like this. I think Teen Titans was probably one of those as a good example, but it's not often that kids shows will go that way. So I did appreciate that a lot about this show, and it just, again, like I said, it gave it such a sense of urgency to some of these stories, and it was very intriguing because of it.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that. Like the dark portions of it were a surprise to me, but they didn't do it in such a way where it was extremely direct, like you were saying. It was kind of subtle and something that would probably go over a kid's head, or at least not be completely comprehended by them, especially when you're talking about emotions being sucked out of your body or stolen from your body, which is essentially your soul, is what it was shown as. Yep. Without them saying that. So it's like, yeah, conceptually dark, but not directly. So for my likes, at least as far as what we watched up to season 2, Ben still didn't have a complete grasp on his transformations. And for me, like, this led to moments that should have been simple victories if he were able to like stay in that form in those forms for as long as he wanted to. But it kind of turned him into life or death situations when he just turned back into a regular 10-year-old kid. Like when he's just a kid, he's completely vulnerable. He has no extra powers or anything when he can't turn into the aliens. So switching back to normal kid mode, it just puts him in a real compromised position. And not to mention that even in monster form, like he still has the mind of a 10-year-old boy. So he didn't always make the most practical choices or the best decisions in any situations. So these higher stakes like really made it a much more interesting power set to me, since an infallible hero just gets boring. And in this case, it makes it where it's like, yeah, it's just some kid. He just happened to across these powers. He's not prepared for it. He's never done this before. So he's just like working it out as he goes and not always succeeding immediately. So I think that made it a much more compelling story to tell than
Yeah.
if somebody had complete control over it and was able to just go into battles and win them hands down.
Yeah, I like that too. And I thought about that a whole lot in that last episode about the idea that he doesn't have a lot of control over those powers yet. And maybe he never gets it. I don't know. But the idea that he does have these powers and can transform into these things, and it does make him very powerful, but then adding that extra set of limitations that it only lasts for so long, and it seems to kind of catch him off guard like every time that it runs out too. So I think that does make it so much more interesting than whether it would be he can just change in and out at leisure. It adds a whole much bigger layer of nuance, and as you said, makes the stakes so much higher.
Yeah, because it's just putting a 10-year-old kid in these situations when he could just turn right back into a 10-year-old kid in the middle of a battle.
Yeah, and that's where you get those moments where Ben as a character, as you know, as a regular character, and Gwen and Grandpa Max get to shine also, is in those moments when they don't have help from his transformations.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Definitely. And the last thing I wanted to mention as far as likes go was the whole like universe. It just seems really interesting to me. It's very like, and I don't know what the complexity of it is. Like, since there's so many shows that chained off of this one, I don't know how deeply it goes in, but I know a lot of it involves like moving into the space aspect of it more, the alien aspect of it. And I just think that's a really compelling story because we also get that hint that Grandpa had something to do with it previously. So I think there's a lot there that we aren't even aware of coming into it with the episodes we watched. There's a lot built on it. There's a lot of layers to it that are just unknown to you because they're not like super direct about it.
I agree with that. It gives me kind of a Green Lantern vibe a little bit with the vastness of story and all the races and stuff that obviously the Omnitrix is pulling from. Like, it just shows that how big the universe is and the different kind of really interesting beings and stuff that live in it.
And that there's a space force out there to protect other beings from these like evil ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So what were some of your dislikes?
Yeah, as far as dislikes, it's hard to name anything that I didn't really like, but there was one thing that stuck out to me several times that just grew old, and you can guess it. That was the use of the word freak. Everything and everyone in this show is called a freak. Adults could seriously play a drinking game with that if they wanted to. It just, it just wore on me after a while how many times it was said and how it made no sense, especially when like other creatures like Zombozo called Ben a freak. I'm like,
yeah,
really? Come on. Like, I feel like the writers could have done a little bit better there. But I almost wonder if maybe that was a case of the network making them change to something. Like, maybe there was more stuff and the network's just like, we need to be really careful. So can we simplify and just, in these cases, please change this. And that might have been an easy go-to, was just using that word. I don't know.
Yeah.
It got so old, man.
Yeah, that was the default insult. Like, maybe it was replacing like geek or nerd or something, because maybe at the time it was like, we're stepping away from
marginalizing.
Yeah, marginalizing like that. So instead, freaks, that's open.
Yeah, freak.
For me, dislike is, and this one, it's a dislike, but it's not like I super disliked it. I just wanted to point something out that it's a fairly predictable show. And I know it's a kid's show technically, but it's like the plots are overly convenient at times where, like, if you think about it, after episode 1, Ben never really tracked down his enemies or anything. Instead, like, he just happened to be in the right place at the right or wrong time when they happen to be attacking. And it's like, oh, there's enemies here. We're just going to fight them. It's not like they hunted them down. Like, what if instead of him just being a happenstance hero, they had him like, they had a police radio or something, or some sort of like secret contact they were able to like find where these villains were and maybe drive around the country to stop them.
Right.
But instead they just like, oh, we're at this college, and also the villains that we're the exact villains that we need to fight happen to be here too, at this college to steal trophies. And it's just like, those are just those conveniences that you just kind of have to accept. And maybe it's just the episodes we watch. Maybe at some point, like they do find a better way to like present those battles. But
Yeah.
in what we watched, it's just, it all seems like it just coincidentally, here's villains.
Yeah, you just kind of have to go with it and accept it as a part of how the show functions, I think.
Right.
But yeah, and they did kind of do it in the first episode too, in that once they were back in the RV, at one point, they didn't know that the robots and the henchmen of that one dude were attacking. They only knew because somebody was calling for help over a ham radio, and Grandpa Max's radio picked up on it.
That's true. Yeah. So I guess the ham radio probably comes into play a lot more.
Well, and that's why I wonder, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I mean, that would be somewhat of a way to remedy that kind of situation. Maybe they do some of that, maybe they don't. I don't know, but I do agree with you that they do a lot of that. But I mean, in that vein too, I mean, that is kind of part of the course for a show like this. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. So
yeah, and I'm just being nitpicky at this point, but it was just something that was very noticeable in the ones we watched.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, why are they exactly where you are?
Yeah.
Why did you go to this mysterious circus?
Yeah, let's go to the circus.
That was on the way to where you were.
Yeah. Oh, the circus is full of freaks who are robbing everything, robbing jewelry stores and stealing souls.
Yeah, of course, freaks. Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our inner kids to hang out with Ben, Gwen, and Grandpa, and maybe see if they can sneak off with that Omnitrix to become Joe 10 or Kristen. Then see what they thought of the show, Ben 10.
This show was so awesome. It had everything, like a cool gadget that turns you into aliens and gives you superpowers, and then fighting robots and aliens and ghosts and stupid gross clowns. Plus, you get the power to set forest fires without getting into trouble. Take that, Smokey, you dumb bear freak.
Man, what a cool show. Makes me want to go on an RV road trip this summer to improve my chances of becoming a hero chosen by a random alien artifact. Since a lot of superheroes are old men or women in their 20s and 30s, it was great to finally see a kid my age kicking alien butt, or at least kicking butt as aliens. Either way, Ben out of 10, would recommend.
Yeah, this is the first show I've watched in a long time that gave me a vibe that was anywhere close to Batman the Animated Series. And how I felt about that as a kid, which that might seem like a strange comparison.
That is a strange comparison. I want you to elaborate.
Okay, it gave me some similar feelings. I think a lot of it had to do with the art style of it and the fact of like the monster of the week kind of thing, that there were so many interesting character designs and villains and stuff, that I think that is where it's coming from. Like I said before, it does feel kind of Bruce Timm in some of the designs of things. Plus you get all of these unique looking characters, and it's not just villains, but also in the designs of, the things that he turns into. But also, it's not all, I mean, we get some darkness and stuff like that too. So that's where I think some of that comes from. And I don't think it's all like that. Like, I wouldn't just say, hey, this is just like Batman the Animated Series. But like, I see where the hype is coming from. And I see why people love it so much, and why it appeals to such a giant fan base, because I can totally see that this would be the show. If I were born years later, this would have been, that show when you come home from school, you grab your toys and you're sitting in front of the TV watching this in place of something like Batman the Animated Series. Like, I definitely see it, and I'm feeling that vibe from it. And also with as many versions of it as there are now, like, I don't think this is a property that's going to go away. So like Ninja Turtles and Transformers and Batman, I think that this is the kind of property that's just going to keep getting reincarnated for decades to come. So I gave this cartoon 5 bowls of some kind of freak cereal out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going to give you, in describing it like Batman the Animated Series, I'll give you that if you move over to the Adventures of Batman and Robin that the animated series turned into, I think it's more like that, more akin to that, because that's when it gets a little bit more fun when a younger Robin comes in. Tim Drake, I think, was that Robin.
Absolutely. Like, no, I think you're spot on there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but I do get that similar feeling to that more like lighthearted aspect of it, less of the dark like first couple seasons of Batman the Animated Series, but this is kind of like a warm up to that. It's like if we had gotten to watch this as like little kids, and then like maybe as like preteens or even early teenagers watch Batman the Animated Series, I think that would have been the perfect transition from like a younger audience to slightly older audience. I think those shows would act as good companion shows together. I really enjoyed it. I like that there's so much to it. Like I said, that was just undiscovered to us, but it's there. And we know there's more underlying like things to this universe, which is very intriguing to me as an adult even. And so like you were saying too, this is the cartoon of like the early 2000s. That is what our original cartoons used to be, that it will continue to have reincarnations because it just has a good groundwork to it. And I would love to have these toys growing up.
Oh my God.
Because I think that those would be a lot of fun, trying to collect all 10 of the forms, or all like 20 something, however many there are now, who knows, and having an Omnitrix for yourself. I know they have wearable ones. I don't know what they do exactly, but I know they have those. Overall, I'd give Ben 10 5 big bowls of Ghost Freak Flake cereal out of 5. And I'm actually legitimately curious to dive into the rest of the Ben 10 universe to see what all the shows have to offer.
Yeah, I'm really interested now. Like, I definitely want to know more about it. And just playing hypothetical with me here, and just interested in your curiosity. To me, I'm just really fascinated by the overall idea of Ben and the power that he has with this Omnitrix and everything like that. Let's say that we have him as an adult, which I think happens in another series or in like an off episode or something in this series.
I think in the follow-up series to this, the Alien Force one, I think he is a teenager at least.
Okay. Let's say we've got adult Ben or whatever. To me, I could easily see a hero just like this fitting in with the like DC universe, like very easily. And I think that idea to me, just like the fact that I could see that working, I think really shows how good a job that they've done with this.
Yeah, this would basically be kind of a combination of Beast Boy and Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, I think that, you know, that speaks volumes to the work that they did and the story and the characters that they've created here. Like, they've done something really amazing. And I'm just surprised it's taken us so long to really learn more about it.
It makes me kind of want to go rewatch the episode of, I think it was OKKO where he showed up.
Yeah.
Just to see like how they represented him in that show versus what we now know of the character.
Yeah, because I don't remember much about him in that.
I think Forearms was the form he took at that point.
You might be right. I think so.
Yeah, but I want to see how they represented this often grousing juvenile on that show.
Yeah, that freak grouse.
Yeah.
So thank you, Christopher 1295 and Twisted Yogurt, for suggesting this one. We're really happy with it.
Yes, thank you so much. This introduced me to a whole new world of things to explore.
A whole new world for you to explore, Benjamin. Before we head out, we've got a 5-star review to read over from Apple Podcasts. So thank you very much. If you haven't left us a review over there, please do that. That'll definitely help us out on the show. And if you leave a comment, we will read it, as long as it's not like really vulgar and mean. So there we go.
It can be mean, just not vulgar.
Yeah. Just, you know, nothing like really, don't say horrible things. This 5-star review is from Jasfras, who says, I love you guys. I don't know if they talk like that, but that's what it says. I love you guys.
Classic Jasfras.
You guys are great. Every night I listen to your podcast. And will you please do Teen Titans Go from 2013? Papa Smurf waits. P.S. Also do Pets Unite from 2019. I think I want to see your reaction. To me, it is horrible. What is with the Papa Smurf waits?
Did they seriously do that again?
Yeah, that's the second time somebody has said Papa Smurf waits. What?
Is there some underlying thing that we don't know about?
I don't know.
What is this?
Is it a threat? What is he waiting for? What is Papa Smurf waiting on?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
I'm scared.
But I will say that we did Teen Titan Go to the movies and liked that a lot. So
Yeah.
I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm ready for Teen Titans Go. I'm afraid of Pets Unite, since you said that one's horrible.
I'm afraid of Papa Smurf.
I'm afraid of Papa Smurf now, too. I don't want to know what he's waiting on.
Have we done the Smurfs yet?
No, we haven't.
Maybe that's what he's waiting on.
I wonder if we do the Smurfs, if he'll let us go.
If he'll just stop waiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave us alone, Papa Smurf.
Yeah, I'm afraid to leave my house because I'm afraid he's waiting outside my doorstep.
He could be waiting anywhere. You wouldn't even notice.
I wouldn't even know. He might be watching us sleep at night.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, rubbing his beard on us while we're sleeping.
Ugh. Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And in 2 weeks, we'll be watching
Dragon Ball Z! But we lost the requester information. So if it was you, please email us at podcasts, that's with an S at the end, at nerdsloth.com with Cartoon Boom in the subject line. And tell us the episode that you would like us to watch. If it was you, no pretending you did it. We'll know if we get a bunch of submissions, and then we'll have to just pick one at random.
That's kind of exciting. I know so much about the Dragon Ball Z universe that
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be a long episode. But okay, well, tell me this. Are we watching the American dubbed version that's cut like crazy, or are we going to watch the Japanese version that has blood and stuff?
I think we're watching whichever version we feel like watching. I think maybe we split up duties like we typically do, where one of us watches one and one of us watches the other so we can compare the episodes.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Where one of us will see the Home for Infinite Losers and the other will see, what it actually is.
I don't know. I've only seen the dubs.
Okay. Well, then this is going to be a fun episode because I've got a lot to say about it.
Okay. I'm excited, man. I love Dragon Ball Z, or as I accidentally typed it in my notes, Dargan Ball Z.
Dargan
Ball
Z.
I'm ready for some Dargan Ball. Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I also love Dragon Ball Z. It's something I watched a lot as a kid, so we're ready for it.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.